Now, drama, melody and noise, that's what the band Suede was always about, according to lead singer Brett Anderson. And now they're back to prove it with their first studio album in more than a decade.
Brett and bass player Matt Osman are here to talk to us. Before we talk... Morning, both, I should say.
Oh, hello.
Good morning.
How nice to be here.
Before we talk to you, we're going to have a little reminder of the music that made them one of the most influential bands of the 90s.
We were having a little sort of commentary on the outfits there as we were going through.
Yeah.
T-shirt at the end. Do you like that look?
I don't really know what I was going for then. Actually, it's a bit worrying, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it weird looking back at those the pictures?
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's weird for anyone in their life, isn't it? If you look back at photos of yourself, how you used to be. But the difference is when you're in a band, you kind of do it in public, and you make all your mistakes in public, and
there's no hiding place.
It's like having your baby pictures constantly shown to you. You know,
yes.
Constantly, every day. This is what you look at your worst.
It wasn't at your worst.
No, it's nice. It's really charming. I think it's that kind of. Sometimes you look back on yourself and you think, oh my God, what was I wearing, or whatever. But it's all those little kind of like those little sort of like mistakes and those little things you get wrong sometimes that it makes you human. You know, you don't want this sort of perfect kind of like mannequin-like career sort of thing.
We're going to talk to you about the
luckily.
10-year break in a minute because it has been 10 years. But first of all, we're going to have a little look at the new single. It starts and ends with you.
So the thing is, in a way, Brett, is that if you are away for 10 years, and we say you've been away for 10 years, you've clearly been somewhere.
I've definitely been somewhere.
I mean, there's always this like nonsense about these things. I mean,
yeah, I've been making solo records actually for the last 10 years. That's pretty much what I've been doing. I kind of made 4 solo albums. But it's a very different sort of scale to Suede, and there was a very different sort of ambition when I was making them. I wasn't making them to sort of have hit records or whatever, you know. It's a different kind of thing. But yeah, I make records. That's what I do with my life. I can't not make records. So. And
the drawback to the band, is there just a kind of magnetism? Does it feel sort of inevitable somehow because of the past?
It's just that there's a feeling about it when you're on stage that I think anyone would miss. You know what I mean? It's a kind of feeling that you don't get from anything else. You know, 10 years away, you come back, first time that you go into a rehearsal room and play those songs again, it just pings straight back. It's like a light bulb going on.
The new album, you had to chuck out a few songs, didn't you, to make the new... I mean, you made lots of songs and then had to pare it down.
Yeah.
How do you agree on that?
It's a really tricky thing making an album after 10 years. You know, you're kind of caught between these two points of wanting to make it sound fresh, of course, but at the same time you want it to sort of like sound kind of familiar. I don't know if that's the wrong word. You don't want to reinvent the sound of the band, and so there's a sort of sweet spot. There's a very narrow band in the point between these two poles, and it's hitting that every time. And you just know it when you hear it. That's the thing, you know. We'd write a song and it's like, no, not quite right. Write another one, no, not quite right. Write another one. Ah, yeah, that's the one.
We didn't really argue much about it, did we?
No, it's just a very instinctive thing. You know, it's just about almost just about a quality of song sort of thing. A good song, it will sound fresh, kind of regardless, because it's a good song, you know.
Now, sparing your blushes, I think there's something about Suede that always was, probably still is, cool. And you know, you were saying about looking back at things and not being too embarrassed. There are some bands who were around at the time of your success first time around, who might look back and think, oh, that really is a bit, I don't know, is it kind of its time? But there was something a bit ageless about the way you looked and the way you sounded. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think there's something more ageless about the way we sounded than the way we looked, especially in the early days. Yeah, I think the early records still kind of stand up. You know, we were never into kind of like sonic gimmicks or anything like that. You know, we just made kind of quite straight, twisted rock music, and quite sort of like simply. You know, there was no kind of like gimmicks and anything like that. And I think, you know, when you do that, it kind of ages quite well.
Let's just quickly talk about the album. It's called Bloodsports, and it's a story in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah. It kind of is. It's a sort of. It's not a concept record because that sort of sounds horrible.
Doesn't sound cool.
Let's not talk about it. No, it's a kind of it's a record with themes. It's a record about a kind of a disintegrating relationship. You know, from the point of infatuation through these other points of like codependency and obsession and stuff like that, and finally the end sort of thing. So it's this sort of journey, you know, it's arc through a relationship. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw earlier, we were doing a thing about Big Bang Fair, about trying to encourage kids to be interested in science. Did you want to be go and work at NASA once? Is that true?
Let's pick that one out of the biography.
Is it true?
When I was very young, yeah.
You wanted to be a scientist?
Instead of wanting to be a train driver, yeah, I wanted to work for NASA.
You go to space?
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know.
Maybe.
What did you want to do, man?
Well, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be in a band.
That's fantastic.
I thought it was the first time I spoke to someone who didn't want to be in a band when I was growing up. I was just thinking, that's such a weird idea.
And what's it like going out and performing live again? You love it, you really enjoy that. You've got a couple planned, haven't you, of gigs?
Yeah, we're playing the Ali Pali on the 30th and Nottingham, Rock City before that. Yeah, it's been fantastic. It has been fantastic. It's much easier than writing a new record, to be honest. You know, that kind of thing just comes back to you like riding a bike.
Very good to see you this morning. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Suede's new album, Bloodsports, is out on Monday, along with the new single, It Starts and Ends With You. And they play Nottingham and Ali Pali in London at the end of this month. Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
That's it from us this morning. Back tomorrow at 6.
When we'll be joined by country singing star Tim McGraw. But for now, have a great day. We shall see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.